Now, we have had guests here also who have said actually that the responsibility starts from each person. That this idea of abdicating responsibility,
blame-storming,
yes,
sharing blame.
yes. You know, every time it's the other person.
Yeah.
Yes, every time it's the other person. So, what is that? Is that cultural, or is it a question? Is it a spill-off of the poverty, or is it that because we are trapped in some I don't know what they call Nigerian factor? What exactly is it?
I think it's a combination of those factors. It's a chicken and egg situation. Which one will come first? Should the governors or the president and the ministers do their own part first,
and let it now distill
before we can respond with better followership? Or should we follow better first, set example, and hold them accountable, and then expect them to now respond with better leadership? It's neither here nor there. But I think Nigeria has got an accumulation of neglect and deprivations over the years. And at the level where we are, I don't think we will expect the change
overnight.
Not trying to, excuse anybody, to massive change to occur at the grassroots level. But those people have been boxed to a corner. People cannot, more than 70% of Nigerians leave the figure that says 60. It's more than 70% of Nigerians live in abject poverty. They live in less than $2 per day. Families, the inequality, the Gini index is about 50%. It's a high level, and that's even that's a managed figure.
Yes, that is like padding it.
That shows a high level of inequality. If I do the mathematics for you, you will agree with me that those who have good jobs in this country are not up to 0.5 or 0.6% of the population. I can break it down for you.
Orji, I cannot be serious. That is dismal.
It is the fact. That's why anybody who works in the bank today, anybody who works in the telecom industry, oil company, I tell them that no matter how they look at it, even no matter how tough they think life is for them, that they belong to the up to 1% of the bourgeois in this economy. Okay, you will agree with me that the banking industry is about one of the industries that employ the highest number of staff. Yes. All right? Okay. How many banks do we have in Nigeria today? About 24.
Yes.
Commercial banks. Let's take on the average, each bank employing about 5,000 staff. As high as that may be. Some are employing more, some are less.
Yes.
So if we take average of 5,000 staff for 24 banks, it's about 120,000 Nigerians. Not that all of them are all main staff, but both the
support
120,000.
Yes.
Oil and gas people, there are not as many. In fact, banks have branches all over the country. Oil and gas is just Port Harcourt, Lagos. So let's give them half of that population, 60,000. That's 180,000. Telecommunication, I'm looking at the key places where good salaries are paid.
Yes.
Look at telecoms. Oil and gas, I meant upstream and downstream. Now in telecoms, give them another 50,000. They're only about how many?
Just about
Glo,
10 of their maximum.
So that's giving us about 200 or 250,000 people. Okay, give our other entrepreneurs, businessmen, my brothers in Aspamda, in Kanu, business people who are doing, real business, not
trading and proper
trading, the informal sector of the economy.
Yes.
Let's give another 100,000 people, to be very generous, who are doing well. It hasn't come up to 500,000 yet. How many are we in Nigeria?
No, that's dismal.
That's about 160, 170 million people.
And we have
we don't have up
effectively
to we don't have up to 300, 400,000 people who are earning good salary. It is that bad. Because we don't sit down to crunch these figures. We take whatever we're giving, as a report. We are told that unemployment today is 23.9%. We take all of that, hook, line, and sinker. But if you sit down and look at this and break it down, you find that it's so disgusting.
Okay, now
it's horrible.
So what are you trying to do therefore to cross this bridge? Because this is now almost like doomsday. Because if you juxtapose the figures, if you look at 60 million, an effective employment or rate of employment is only 500
who are well employed. When you look at
it's like doomsday.
When you look at employment, we usually look at the figures of people who are capable of working, who are looking for a job, but who don't have a job.
Yes.
And we get that figure and we say it's 23.9%, even as well managed as that figure is. If we consider underemployment, people who are working in a place where they have no business, working there. A graduate who is working in a place where he's paid only 15,000 naira. If you look at the future value of that money, if you are, analyze it every year till the, will that equal the amount of, if you do it just normal net present value? In fact, even in perpetuity, how much the person will earning 20,000 naira every year
for the
next 40 years useful working life? compare that to the today's value, bring it to today's value, and compare that to the value of how much is spent going to that university education. It's a negative. So for such people, though you may count them as employed, but they are heavily underemployed. And I can assure you that many people whom we term employed in this country are also looking for jobs. They want to jump away from the country, they want to change jobs, but jobs are not there because the economy is though growing, but it's not providing jobs.
It's not absorbing those jobs. It's not absorbing those. Now let's look at that reverse. Therefore,
okay.
So, where is the economy? Where is the break in the economic progress? Why is it that the economy is not addressing those critical areas where what we turn out to be employable Nigerians are not being absorbed by the quality of jobs that we have in the environment? Why?
Okay, Nigerian economy is a very I would say funny. It will be derogatory. I love this country, but Nigerian economy is a complex economy. It had disobeyed every known economic theory. One can say, an economy that has been growing at a very huge and fast pace. Nigerian economy, I dare say, is one of the fastest growing economies in the whole world. Apart from China, that had done up to 12-13% in economic growth year on year, until recently when they went down to about 7.5%.
Yes, and India?
India has also done good growth, among the emerging economies. Nigerian economy has been doing average of 6.5 to 7% growth year on year in the past decade. All right, and in every economy we say that about 4 or 5 macroeconomic objectives to achieve economic growth, which we don't have any problem with. To achieve price level stability, inflation management, we've done fairly well with that. Okay, or to also ensure balance of payment equilibrium. Import export, we had some challenges with that in the past because of oil price vagaries, but now it's got better. We end the year usually on a positive balance of payment position. All right, so we don't have much problem from there. Self-sustenance is an issue, but the next key economic objective is to achieve low unemployment level. That is where the problem is, and that's why the international analysts and all the people that know
what economic theories are.
It's about calls Nigerian economic growth a jobless growth. It's been termed jobless growth over the years. In fact, it is what has been used to mock us, because the economy is growing,
but there are no jobs.
Jobs are not coming with it. Because if an economy is growing, it means that there's a greater or higher level of activity, production going on. The output in the economy, within the boundaries of that economy every year is going up. But if that happens, it means that more factories are being opened, more businesses are opening, and then more jobs are being taken in.
But you find that, as a banker, as an economist, as an engineer, where therefore is the evil spirit that is obviously ghosting away the jobs that people should be. I mean, what really is happening? We must have. There must be a way you can tie this down.
Okay, for me, the first thing is corruption. The first thing is corruption. Corruption has made every Nigerian, not every Nigerian, to be fair to those who are working very hard and who are also working honestly. Most people are just pushing hard at how to undo this country, how to take their own bite of national cake. Because we discovered oil, instead of the resource being a blessing to us, it has become a curse. We are focused on how to appropriate the national wealth coming from oil to ourselves,
and our
how
families.
to get our bit of it. So we have forgot how to lead. We have forgot how to seek the common good. We have we've forgotten how to make our environment better. So you find that a lot of money is being earned through this non-renewable energy resource, which is oil, that may soon be depleted. We're making all the money there, and we lack the leadership to make that money spread across other sectors of the economy. So we have an economy that is solely dependent on, even though the oil and gas sector only contributes about less than 15% of the national GDP figure. But you find that sector giving us more than 85-90% of our revenue. So it means that we are over-depending on that sector, and it tells you that if we can do to that sector what we're doing, to other sectors what we're doing to that sector, we can have a very massively blessed and blossoming economy.
Now, if we know this much, that's yet another Nigerian factor. Just like you said, every Nigerian is a prophecy of our economic
problems. Yes.
Yet we don't seem to have an aggregate on how this is going to be solved.
I was going to tell you that the way we have got now, I won't blame the man in the street or put more emphasis on the man in the street in terms of solving the problem where we are today. I think the key solution must start coming from those who hold the instrument of power.
Political leadership.
Political leadership, economic leadership, social leadership, to begin to say that enough of this frittering of our national resources. Let's begin to do the right thing. Because the single most important thing we can do in this economy to begin to get things work. Let's put down that power, energy.
Yes.
Let's put down our feet. Let's bury our manhood and insist that let's even lay down our lives
and save
and insist that this thing must work.
Hours, yes.
All the demons, that even our Minister of Power had recognized that it appeared that there are demons, or the former CBN governor
yes.
used the word
yes.
vested interest.
Yes.
Somebody can also add principalities and powers
yes.
holding down the energy sector of this economy. If somebody can say, I would rather die than see people sabotage the efforts of government in erecting the proper infrastructure to make sure that we have transformers generating power is well generated, distributed, well managed. If somebody can say, I will die for this country, because people are dying every day anyway. People are making sacrifices every day. Boko Haram is dying people in hundreds.
Yes.
These are sacrifices for national development. Why wouldn't the leaders who have the better for you to sacrifice once and for all
do the same? Do
this thing so that this country will be okay. Because the more we go in the way we are going, the more people will be there. And those who are in Lagos, in Calabar, or in Akwa Ibom, or in Enugu, thinking that this whole thing is far away, they should think again. It's coming closer. And because we don't have even the security infrastructure, the satellite system to stop their movement. Maybe they are restricted for now because of maybe some logistics. But when they are able to perfect their ways, more than we are able to perfect our surveillance system, it will get everywhere. So the earlier we begin to address the core issues, the better. People must begin to say, all this money we eat in recurrent expenditure, over bloated salary, traveling with million people when you want to travel as a public officer, when a British Prime Minister will enter a train and he won't even get a seat. Can't even get a seat. And he's standing reading paper in the train. Here, a councillor in a local government has AIDS here and there. The local government chairman, covers his, he moves around with impunity. Not talk about ministers who moves in droves of AIDS, moving around the whole place. The cost of running this government is huge, and that's about corruption. And we're not sincere about cutting down the cost of government. That's why in an economy we have a plan to reduce our recurrent expenditure, in principle, and then bring up our capital expenditure. We haven't been able to execute that.
Now
nobody is willing to lay down his life to say enough of this nonsense.